welcome to Honest Car Reviews. My name is Eric and this is the Mercedes GLC 300E. It is the SUV equivalent of the C-Class. So it's bigger than the GLB, but it's smaller than the bigger sized GLE. And this is a full-on hybrid with a big battery and quite a powerful engine. And in this review I'm going to show you why I think that this car is one of the best company rental leasing cars there is. We'll start with the exterior, of course. And one thing that is quite unique with German car manufacturers is that they love extra options. So this car as a base price is 580,000 Swedish kroner or 58,000 euros. But this is quite a special car because it's extra optioned. You might hear some airplane sounds because I'm close to Arlanda, but I hope you'll look aside from that. But to the options, because Mercedes cars have the AMG line packages. This car does not have one of those. It is optioned in other ways. And one of those are, of course, the 10-spoke wheels, which cost 500 euros. And you can see the EQ power. That is Mercedes' way of branding their electrical powered engines. Looking at the proportions, it's quite unique. Quite a bulbous front hood, but also a really aggressive rear part of the car. But everything is quite well connected and actually is quite flowy and circular in its shapes. And with a small refresh, you get quite unique rear lights. You also find fake exhaust. They do not go anywhere. I can put my hand and there's nothing. This paint, I believe, is extra option because it's a silver metallic paint. If you look really closely in the sun, you might be able to see the metallic parts, which means that this paint costs around 500 euros. And you have sun tint on the back doors, back from the B pillar, and they cost around 300 euros. And you can sense that the price is starting to add up. The lights are really unique. They're 1,300 euros and they are like bi-xenon LED, whatever matrix, what they Mercedes had, and they look really cool. The side rear view mirrors are also extra optioned because they are, as you can see, can be folded inwards. But as it's starting to rain right now, I'll just show you the rear tailgate and the space. Because of the hybrid engine, of course I have to open the car up with this button, and the key in itself costs 100 euros extra. And you can see you have a lip, standard with any car, but then you have a second lip because of the electric battery. So you have a roof spaced, but in essence you can fold down the rear seats and you have quite a lot of space, but it's not the best in its category and in its segment. Of course the standard GLC will be better. This is the plug for your household in Sweden and some places in Europe. And if you look underneath, this is the ones that you connect the Type 2 to charging places at McDonald's and other supermarkets and at your workplace. It's nothing special at the rear, apart from that you can fold down the rear seats. There's also one thing else, and that is an electrically operated tailgate or towing hook, sorry. Compared to the Range Rover Velar that I had, this is really quiet and really fast. Impressive, but it cost around 1,200 euros. Yes, I was a bit hesitant to say it. Of course, to open it up, you press backwards. To close it, Interesting. It works, but it is starting to rain. So electrically operated rear tailgate, and getting into the car, you are met with a standard Mercedes interior, a really nice interior, but it has some edge to it, and you can see that by looking at these not rear but circular and round ventilation extracts, and they are really nice. The material is really nice, and the function, it feels good. But this part is really old. I have driven older C43s and I can remember these layouts. This infotainment screen is 10.25 inch, which is an upgrade compared to the standard one. Inside, the seats are fake leather. Nothing special. They are quite supported actually, and you have hamstring support, so you can pull it forward and backwards with the help of a small handle. Burmeister surround system, really good. I will start the car and let you hear how it sounds, because it is a 4-pot with 211 horsepower, and the electric engine has 122 horsepower. You can see the digital gauge cluster, and as you may have seen, there's a warning that there's a person in the rear or that they need to fasten their seat belts, but there's no one at the rear, and that comes up every time. I don't know if it's just a safety feature, but it's really annoying. A quick note about the infotainment system. It is really fast. It's responsive, it's nicely designed, and you can use it with this touchpad as well, but it's not as fast and not as exact as using your fingers when you're typing in where you want to go. But one really cool feature is this touchpad, which controls the infotainment screen, which means that you never have to put your hand away from the wheel and minimize the focus that you have here. Of course, you need to look sometimes, but it's a really cool feature to have this touchpad. But this car, as it is sitting right now, is 68,000 euros, 680,000 Swedish kroner, which is 100,000 kroner more, 10,000 euros more than the standard. And then you don't have active lane assist, radar cruise control, and the dead angle warning. And those are some really important features that I believe that every new car should come with as a standard, because it just elevates the safety on the road for everyone out there. But we'll start driving now, and I'll talk some more about all the things and features and everything. This little dial here, not dial but spak as you say in Swedish, is the control for the transmission. So drive is down, going from reverse, and I will show it to you. That's quick. But going to drive and I'm pushing my throttle down, it is really slow. So there's a real delay from going to drive and then planting your throttle and then something happening. Speaking of the transmission, it is a 9-speed transmission and it works really well. The power is really plenty. 211 horsepower from the 4-pot petrol engine. It's really peppy. It is actually quite fast. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.6 seconds. And that is with the fully charged or a charged battery, which I don't have right now. And I will talk about that a bit later, because there's a problem with that. A Mercedes, it is German engineering, German quality. It is soft to drive, but it's still tight. It is comfortable, but still giving enough feedback and enough confidence to not be worried where you have to place the car. And going over some real uneven terrain or uneven roads, it just soaks them up. This little dynamic selection is around 300 euros extra. Important to note. And then you have the eco, so meaning as fuel efficient as possible. Comfort, which I'm in for the most of my time in the car. Then sport, which really changes the behavior of the car. You also have the possibility to change into manual because you have pedals behind the steering wheel by pressing this button here, and it shifts quite fast. I was really impressed. But this car is not made to be sporty, even though I'm happy to say that it has some fun driving characteristics. The car is really nice to drive. It has plenty of power. The gearbox works fine apart from when standing still and changing from drive to reverse. The petrol and electrical combination sometimes can be a bit nervous, because if I'm applying a certain percent of the throttle, it won't give me the power that I believe that this percentage will give me unless the petrol engine engages, and that can happen a second or two later. So you're applying the throttle and nothing really happens until the throttle comes into life, and then you're lunged forward a bit. Beautiful Swedish back roads around Arlanda. It's been raining a bit, but it handles it perfectly. So there's an automatic rain sensor on the front screen. But talking about the hybrid system some more, I have almost no charge now, and I have averaged from 0.7 to 1 liters per 10 kilometer. It is quite thirsty. And comparing to a Toyota CHR, which has 183 horsepower and a mild hybrid, it averaged around 0.5 liters per 10 kilometer. Of course, you have to look into or take into the consideration that a person that will buy this car will drive this to and from work, because it is the perfect leasing company car, because you have around 40 or 50 kilometers of pure electric range, and when you come to work you will charge it up and then you will drive home. So realistically, if you have a charging station at home, which I don't have, you can always drive around with charge in your battery. I can't, and that means that the fuel consumption has been really high. Mercedes approach to luxury. Also, one thing that's important to note, if I say Mercedes, that comes up. I have to spend 1 or 2 minutes about that one. It is like Siri, it's like Google Assistant or whatever. When I say Mercedes, it activates. And then it says, what do you want me to do? And if I say navigation, I say, hi Mercedes. Hey Mercedes. Navigation. Great, works fine. If I say, hey Mercedes, sätt destination till KTH. It can't set a destination. It can't change track. What can it do? It says that you need to connect to internet to access some features, but what features need an internet connection? I mean, I can control everything here without having internet connection. Why can't I do it by using my voice? But apart from that thing, this Mercedes approach to luxury that I really like and enjoy. And this is not the fastest car, it's not the slowest car, it's in a perfect middle segment that a lot of people buy, and I understand why they buy it. The Mercedes GLC 300e 4MATIC. This is my review. See you next time.